Hey guys, my name is Daniel. As probably y'all have seen, Z Hunter, Zombie Hunter. Some of y'all may have seen the first update on my process in joining the military with the self-harm waiver. Y'all probably saw that. At the time, I was trying to go to MEPS, try to see what they would say. I'm actually at the airport. I stayed during MEPS because I've got to work on it. Ironically, with my job I work for, I did not get approved for the military. But that doesn't mean I can't go forever. That just means right now, at this moment, I cannot join. I told you guys I had been clean for 4 years. That, I'm sorry to say, I'm not trying to be a disappointment, but that's not true. My recruiter doesn't even know. I've actually been only clean for about 3 months. I relapsed about 4 months ago, I think. So I've still got the red scars from that. It was just a small relapse. My manager had done some things and I was frustrated myself. So because of that, the doctor saw those scars and obviously compared them to the scars that were actually 4 years old. And he was like, these are not the same scars. They're red, there's an issue. I told him they happened about a year ago, trying to push it out as much as I could. And whatever the doctor writes down, the medical field, they see it. I automatically got not approved. Really bothered me. So we put in a waiver that day. I think it was Thursday. That Friday, no, it was Friday. We put in a waiver. That Saturday or that Monday, we got a follow-up. My waiver was not approved. With the fact that they had already, I told my doctor, I guess, that it was sooner than expected, which means I kind of lied to them. They try to get you, but your recruiter's probably just going to tell you, don't say anything, say something. They do a full body scan. They're going to see your scars. Unless it's like on the back side of your thigh or something, they're going to see it. And even with that, he's gonna see it. That's also been a thing that's keeping me from doing it again, is I still want to join, just right now I cannot. When I talked to my recruiter, he said the doctors, the medical doctor, not the one at MEPS, the one who approves and disapproves waivers, he said he needs to have a waiver that's at least 2 to 3 years clean. So if I was faithful and I was 4 years clean, I would have been approved. With that saying, I am going to retry for the 4th time in probably next year. Probably around the same time next year. Try to give it some time. Either find out if the doctor's note will get unevaluated, like removed in between that time, or a year ago, he can say, yeah, I did it a year ago, which means 1 plus 1 is 2. So I did it 2 years ago, and I can say, yeah, I did it 2 years ago. Air quotes. I'm in a mentally stable mood. I was not expecting the publicity this has gotten. Not in a bad way. I really thank everybody for just reaching out. I mean, I looked at the analytics on the video, and a lot of people are looking up joining the military with the waiver. Some people are searching for joining the military, and just self-harm in general. If y'all don't know my story, I'm now 20. Surprising. I self-harmed when I was probably about 15 and 16, so about 4 or 5 years ago. I had school. I went private school, so it was hard on me. I had done some things in my life that I regretted. And I was trying to find a way to permanently, or at least at the time, not get a bad job. It was more than just that. Something that will go away in about 5 minutes. And that's where I found out about self-harm. I dealt with it for a little over a year, if not a year. And it was, it was rough for me. I got to some lowest parts of my life. I've never been so low point where I almost wanted to kill myself. I know it's hard to say, and it might, I don't know. If this gets taken down, I'll repost another one. I'm not at that point anymore. I have an amazing family, amazing job. And I've understood what I did was stupid. In the way I was doing it. My parents would tell me that, what you're doing is stupid, why are you doing it, and I never understood what they were talking about, and I never really listened to them. Looking back, I see exactly why, they're like, it's gonna hurt you. I didn't realize that. Looking back now, I mean, that one recently where I had done it 3 months ago, I would be in the military right now. Actually, probably shipping out in December. Late December, early November, or January. And going into the National Guard, been my dream. It's always been my dream since I was young. I don't know if that's a message from God saying not right now, because that wouldn't have been the only waiver I would have had to put in. I would have put in a waiver for a COVID vaccine. I don't want to get the COVID vaccine, which probably would have not been approved. My pastor said he's not willing to write one up. And so I was like, okay. Hopefully in the near future it won't be as required. And that's kind of the situation I'm at right now. I've talked to people that have had self-harm. I've been through it myself, guys. You're not alone. I'm not doing this for the views or for the money or whatever or anything. I want to do this to help you guys. You might be sitting there thinking you're all alone and nobody knows what you're going through. That's a lie from the devil. I'm a Christian and I believe it, and I'm a full-hearted Christian. We all mess up. We all make mistakes. That doesn't mean what you're doing now has to define you for the rest of your life. That's what I learned very recently, and that's what I loved about my recruiter, is he was like, I don't care what you've done. We're gonna do what's right. And when your recruiters if your recruiter says to hide it, don't, because that's just gonna push you back. Because if the doctor says, have you ever self-harmed? And you say no, and then he looks at your arm to do a blood drawn, and there's scars, it's like, he's gonna be like, you lied to me. Now what else have you lied to? It's a devalue of trust, and people, military, I don't know if the military doesn't want people who lie, but there's a bunch of people in the government that lie. But it's just not good. It's gonna hurt you in the long run with your recruiter. Even with self-harm, once you scar yourself, you cannot get it removed unless you get like surgical treatment to have it removed, or you get a tattoo over it. Like, it's gonna be there. My scars are as visible, they're faded now. Like, they'll fade and they'll get to the point where you don't really notice them. But if you look, like, you'll see them, and it's not good. It's sad how many people go through it. It just leads to some dark roads, and don't think you're not alone. Find a friend or a family member. I know that people don't want to go see a counselor because they don't understand. They're trained to help you. They're not there to make fun of you. And my counselor that I had when I grew up, when I was going through some of it, she was a former self-harmer herself. Like, she had done it herself, and so she knew exactly what that felt like. And some people ask me, well, how did you stop? Well, I know it sounds silly, but I just kind of got to a point in my life, I was like, I don't want this to define me. I would have an okay day, and I would find the smallest excuse in my life to hurt myself. Even if it was just someone gave me a bad look. And it got to the point I was self-harming in school. I would sneak in a pocket knife or something, and I would do it in school. I was like, this is getting way too far. And that's the point where I was at. I couldn't really live without it. And so I did it all the time, and I've got the scars from it, and it's sad. And you do it once, and it's like, okay, I'm never gonna do it again. Well, when the next bully comes up to you and bullies you, well, you go home, you're having a bad day, and your mom finds out you got an F on your test. What are you gonna do? Are you gonna pretend you're happy? You can pretend for so long. I pretended to be happy for so long, and it killed me inside. I finally found out what true happiness feels like, and you'll find out what it feels like. You'll try to fake it until you make it, but it's just gonna break you. And so that's the thing, is if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, post them in the comments. If you're a former self-harmer and you want to be prayed for, post in the comments. I'll be praying for everybody that comments. If you know somebody who's doing it, I'll keep you guys in my prayers. I know it's something that's not talked at all. In my 20 years of living, I don't think I've heard a single pastor or someone talk about it. They've talked about depression and anxiety, but they never talk about the effects that go with that. And yeah, depression and anxiety is, a big thing, and I've dealt it with myself on the first hand. But you don't have to go to drugs. You don't have to go to self-harm. You don't have to go to a boyfriend. You don't have to go to a girlfriend. You don't have to physically hurt yourself to find relief from that. You may not be a Christian, and if you're not, just find something. If you're having a bad day, put on some music that's not depressing. That's the key thing, is it's not degrading, it's not sad, it's something uplifting. I know if you're not a Christian, this might not apply for you, but if you're a Christian, I strongly recommend some sort of uplifting Christian music. A few songs are I Will Carry You. I don't remember the artist names. Priceless, God Only Knows. Both the Priceless and God Only Knows are for King and Country. There Will Be a Day by, I think, Matthew West or Chris Tomlin. Matthew West, Chris Tomlin, Toby Mac, 10th Avenue North, 10th Avenue South, I think. All those other artists, I would strongly recommend. Give them a look. If you look on my YouTube channel, I'll make it public on my music. I've got an encouraging music list, and it's just, even if I'm having a bad day, I just listen to that, and it makes my day better. I'll look up songs like Believer by, I can't remember the name of the song, Believer and the Thunder. Just something uplifting that's not depressing. That's the thing, is when you're sad and you're going through a breakup, you want to go to sad songs. That just makes it worse. It doesn't make it better. And you get angry inside. It will change you. It will break you eventually, and you'll be a person you never thought you were. I'm this kind, loving person, and I was angry and I was upset for a while. So yeah, that's the update with my waiver. So I didn't get approved. I'm gonna try next year. We'll kind of keep you guys updated as the year goes on. If you guys are going through a waiver right now, please put it in the comments. I want to know kind of how everyone's doing, and just be happy. I mean, if you get approved, amazing, great for you. If you don't get approved and you've got to wait another year, that the only times that you are permanently disqualified is if you have like leukemia or cancer or something that cannot be treated. But if you've got like anxiety and depression, it goes away, at least according to their standards. Yeah, you're gonna deal with it. The reason why they go through all this process and get a waiver is they want to make sure you're mentally stable so you don't leave basic. I've looked into a lot of basic. I know exactly how basic goes, kind of. And so yeah, find a recruiter. Also find a recruiter that stands up for your values. If he says don't say anything, you gotta go in truthful, because they're gonna find out and it's gonna make the process harder. If your recruiter says, oh, you can't get a waiver, that's not true. YouTube and Reddit and things like that are exactly how I found out that it's possible. Now that may mean that branch is not the right thing for you. You know, you might want to go into the Marines, and the Marines don't accept you, but the Army does. That might mean the Army's for you. Like, if you guys look into, her name is Late Night Yaz. I'll have to post her in the comments. She's my biggest inspiration. She's in the military right now. She's graduated already, which is amazing. And she's been my biggest inspiration. She's the one who found out that I could still go. Her recruiter there was some dilemma between her recruiter. I don't want to spoil all of it. She's just the best one to look at. She's a big inspiration. So that's that. If you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, please feel free to put it in the comments. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.